I'm gonna show you guys this clip because we got this psychopath. This 5 minutes.
Oh, man, Crystal Ball Jr. and that twin sister over there. That shit's weird, bro. It's so weird.
Wasn't she like on some like far right network? I saw this video on Twitter a few weeks ago where she was on like Gateway Pundit, some far right platform, and liberals were attacking her for it. She's like, why is CNN had this person who used to be on a far right platform? And then I watched the video, it's crazy. Like she's like repeating far right Republican talking points like extremely passionately. You know, the same way like she repeats anti-Trump liberal talking points. Her ability to switch ideologies on a dime based on who's paying her, it's crazy shit. I don't know if you guys seen that old video. Actually, not that long ago, only like a few years ago. She worked at
these people are professional actors who never made it in Hollywood. That's basically what they are. Right? That's literally Adam Schiff, by the way. Like he tried to be an actor and it just was a failure, and so that's what he does.
Yeah, and she's a serious psychopath. I don't know how you can do that because when you watch that video, you would think that she's a legitimate Marjorie Taylor Greene. Like you don't think like, oh damn, she's fake in that video. When you watch her in the Trump town hall, you don't think, yeah, damn, she's fake. No, her ability to just change psychologically in different political scenarios, it's situations. It's extreme. Anyway, let's
call psychopath, Nick. It's called psychopath.
Yeah, it's unbelievable these people to me. But let's listen to this. I don't want to get too long into this. But I just want to show you guys the mindset of the unhinged, pro-war Democrat.
With President Zelensky today, what was the most important thing that you heard from him?
Well, the passion, the incredible work that he is doing to protect democracy, not just in Ukraine, but across the world. And let me tell you, there were 2 standing ovations for him, Caitlin. The crowd was nearly all the senators, Democrats and Republicans were there. I did not detect that gnawing away of support. I see a Senate that passed with 86 of 100 senators voting for the defense bill. I see Mitch McConnell and Chuck Schumer standing together for Ukraine. And then later this afternoon at the archives where no lost symbolism there, where the Constitution, Declaration of Independence, you see President Zelensky declaring that Ukrainians are defending freedom and global security every day and every night. And kids are there, and soldiers without legs, children without hands, and the American doctors that have fixed them, that have made their lives better, that have given them prosthetics. It was very emotional. People were crying, and I saw every bit of emotion that I saw in the past. In fact, stronger resolve, as we know China is watching right now. We know that this scrappy Ukrainian military has taken back 50% of what the superpower Russia took away from them.
That is not true.
Since the invasion began.
That's a lie. And by the way, do you guys still got your lunch? Do you still got your lunch? Because that was Barthworthy right there. That was very hard to get Anyone, if you still got your lunch, props to you. Like I was struggling listening to this.
I only had some fruits today, so I'm keeping it down. The acid creeping though. The acid is creeping.
That was very hard to get through. I'm gonna let it continue because you guys heard where she's going, right? And this is the new talking point coming from Democrats, fam. Obviously the other party too, but there's still people who are stuck in 2014-15 who believe that Democrats are better than Republicans. It's the Democrats that are saying now because they realize that people are flipping on Ukraine aid. They say, no, if we don't win this war in Ukraine, we don't continue to aid, what message will that send to the Chinese? Wink, wink, white American Chinese. You guys see how they're using China to get people on board to wage a war against Russia? That's how desperate they are. Let's throw some xenophobia in there. Hope we can get people on board.
But you know what? She is right. China's watching. That's not a good thing, motherfucker. Like China is watching, and they're like, okay, we see how y'all moving, but I guarantee it. Like, I don't know why they think that saber rattling at China will ever work out for anybody. That is just a non-starter. It's like saber rattling at Iran. That's a non-starter. Don't do it.
Yeah, I think it actually gets worse. I'm gonna play just one more exchange, and then I'm gonna move on to the next part.
So I see momentum, and I see just incredible, strong spirit in President Zelensky that has guided his country through this.
And we see much more support for Ukraine from the Senate. I mean, you saw Senator McConnell today walking with Senator Schumer.
Yeah, I know this is hard to get to, CJ.
But on the House side, I mean, it's a different story. Speaker Kevin McCarthy, you know, he avoided being seen in public with Zelensky. We did see these photos of them.
So now this is her asking Amy Klobuchar about this divide that we were just talking about, and some more I'm going to show you here soon. Now, this is her response here.
Together in private, but, you know, he's not committing to putting more aid for Ukraine up for a vote in the House. Obviously, that would, you know, how the Senate would deal with that is an open question. Do you think that Congress is going to be able to get another aid package for Ukraine passed?
I do. I think you know that, as you just discussed on your panel there, that Speaker McCarthy has a lot going on. And he did say after the meeting, I heard the reports that he heard some good things there. And you've got a number of Republicans over in the House standing with Ukraine. Yes, you have some people, but I would like to ask them to their faces, what do you think China's going to think if we withdraw? What are our allies going to think as they are stepping up aid? Countries like
what about the Chinese?
Norway, pledging billions and billions of dollars. This America leads, and America stands with their friends and their allies. That is
Ukraine is not NATO. Ukraine is not our ally. There's no geopolitical significance to this war other than to increase military industrial complex profits, never extending reach of NATO. But this is unhinged garbage. I'll let continue.
That's what this is about.
Crazy.
And to see this juxtaposed with Tommy Tuberville holding up hundreds and hundreds of military nominations as their families sit in limbo, it does make me wonder, whose side are you on here? And I can tell you that Democratic leadership is firmly on the side of our military, of our soldiers, and of democracy for America and across the world.
But she hit you with the World War II. Whose side are you on? Shit. Oh.
Yeah, and let me play a video to counter this, because what she's speaking here, Nick and Niko, what she's speaking is talking about is so much democracy going on in
is that the Rand Paul video?
Yeah, it's a 30-second video.
I have it right here. Yeah, CJ, you're reading my mind. That's literally next.
Counter, like, what are you talking about? Go ahead.
Yeah, no, CJ, that's perfect. We this is why this shit works, because we're on the same fucking page. This is literally the next thing in my notes. Watch this. Look at this, because this is what I'm leaning to. This is the talking point of Klobuchar, and I'm sure this is what you lean to, CJ. This is literally
yes.
Now this is
the same one.
Rand Paul's response to the Democratic Party talking
That's
point.
it.
I knew we was on the same page. This is literally the next video, so I'm gonna get to it now. This is let's hear what Rand Paul had to say and why she
could approve this. There's also this incredible story about an American journalist, Gonzalo Lira. He's reportedly right now in prison in Ukraine on allegations of spreading Russian propaganda. I don't understand this, that Joe Biden could approve $113 billion of money to Ukraine, and yet he has not tried to get this American journalist out of prison there. How is that possible?
It's even worse than that, Maria. They've canceled the elections. What kind of democracy has no election? So next year, Zelensky said he's not going to have an election because it would be inconvenient during the war and would be expensive. Well, the thing is, if you don't have elections, why in the world would we be supporting a country that's not a democracy? They've banned the political parties. They've invaded. They've arrested priests. So, no, it isn't a democracy. It's a corrupt regime. And are the Russians any better? No, the Russians are worse. But at the same time, we don't always have to pick.
They literally have elections.
But the ultimate reason I'm against this is we don't have the money. And when we borrow more money, it leads to more inflation, leads to more likelihood of recession in our country. And so we just can't keep doing it. So
can I say something that I think that we all probably want to, what happened to, we can't have money to do, we won't hold elections unless we get more money. And they just got more money yesterday. So I'm confused. So now the goalpost is moved again. Now it's too expensive to hold elections. And so you got what you want now. So basically, I mean, that was just the next excuse that Democrats and Republicans could use Why? Because obviously the Ukraine war, most people don't support it. So it was another excuse. Oh, well, we're supporting them to preserve democracy there, right? And therefore, we obviously have to fund them in order to make sure that democracy can continue. And then Zelensky's like, yeah, man, fuck that democracy, bro. We just want some money. And hope that no one peeps game like he just took a bunch of money. By the way, on the cusp of government shutdown that somehow the Ukraine is exempt from. So, like, what the hell? What just happened? And also, that's a lie. For everybody who's curious, what Rand Paul said, most of it's true. But no, Russia's not worse. Russia has a super legit democracy, actually. They have very healthy elections. The only time they do not have healthy elections is whenever that inevitably a Western propagandist that's paid to disrupt the process comes in and tries to, but ultimately it just gets shut down because, like, for better or for worse, there are people obviously Putin has an opposition in his own country. He's a president, but like at the end of the day, they choose him. And there's audits, I know that's a foreign word, a foreign concept in the US, but they have audits in Russia. They have a Congress, they have a legislature in Russia. They have opposition parties in Russia. All things that currently don't exist in Ukraine. Coincidentally enough. So,
and there's a lot of lies that we didn't get to, but I'm gonna show you guys this one real quick. I was trying to find the version of this graph without the meme, but unfortunately, we gotta take it with the meme. I didn't save it, unfortunately, but this is how much they gained in the Ukraine counteroffensive. So I've heard them say this multiple times, so I guess they're gonna just run with this lie and hope they don't get fact checked. Where they're like, Ukraine took 50% of the gains made by Russia. That is 100% a lie. There have been multiple liberals on Twitter that already been ratioed. I've seen that been keep saying this. I don't know. There's like a bad memo that went out. That is not true. This counteroffensive has been a massive failure. I wish I could find a graph without a meme, but I think you gotta get the point of it.
I actually think Washington Post posted that. Oh, I covered a story. That's what it was. I covered a story like 2 weeks ago that was literally talking about how like U.S. officials were lamenting the fact that the counteroffensive was has not been successful. Like the mainstream media was reporting it wasn't successful.
Yeah. Damn, I can't believe what the fuck that graph did. I saw it not too long ago. But last thing I'll share on this, let me check. And then we got the Pentagon is a exempt story. Then I'll pass to UCJ, and I'll stay for maybe another 2 segments or so. Mm-hmm. This is JD Vance, who's another member of the U.S. Senate. I think he beat Tim Ryan not too long ago, and now he's the right-wing U.S. senator.
Yeah,
and it's better to have JD Vance there than Tim Ryan, who's an unhinged psychopath who made the passionate argument that we should stay in Afghanistan. That's who Tim Ryan was. Now there's JD Vance there. You understand they got the same economic trickle-down Reaganomic bullshit, right? But at least now we got JD Vance calling out the Ukraine war instead of Tim Ryan, who wanted to still go in war with Afghanistan. So here's JD Vance. Yesterday at a classified briefing over Ukraine, it became clear that America is being asked to fund an indefinite conflict with unlimited resources. Enough is enough to these and future requests. My colleagues and I say no. So Rand Paul, JD Vance, this growing number of Republicans, not a lot, obviously, Amy Klobuchar is correct in some sense that the majority of the Republican Party supports it. But CJ, Niko, do you know how much that matters? Absolutely none. If you have a few senators that block the fucking funding bill. It doesn't matter if you have 90% of the Republicans on board. You just need JD Vance and Rand Paul. Fam. So all the other shit don't matter. But
and y'all know Rand Paul love his 45 minutes of spotlight he get once every 2 years. He love that shit. He don't ride that train.
Yeah.
You know, I'm a libertarian. I'm a fiscal conservative, right? Yeah, that motherfucker can get that same speech.
Yeah, and Rand Paul, I gotta look at his voting record because I swear I don't know on top of my head, but I would guess he's had not been that consistent on the Ukraine thing.
He's been like almost like 50-50. Like most times, there's a lot of times where he won't vote for the spending bill the first time, like the military budget the first time, then he'll go back and do it the second time after like they remove. But if it's a clear waste of money, a lot of the times he will vote against it. Like, to be honest.
So you had these 2 Republican senators, and Chuck Schumer's and Democrats, they were saying, "Oh my God, the Republicans, they're gonna shut down government," and they were like, and there's a bunch of anti-imperialists on Twitter like, "Oh my God, yes, Rand Paul, we don't like that motherfucker, but hell yeah, we cheering for you. Shut down this motherfucker in Ukraine government." And then Pentagon was like, "You sweet summer children, you guys think that we're gonna allow some government shutdown to end our cash cow?